Hello and welcome to the Diana Falzone Show here on Paltalk. I hope all of you are having a great day. It's going to get even better because I have a very, very special guest. My wonderfully talented designer friend, Suede.
Hey Diana, I'm super excited to be here on this sultry day, much like what you look like, super sexy and sultry.
Meow. Thank you.
Meow.
So everyone recognizes Suede from Project Runway Season 5 where you were a finalist. Some of your catchphrases were like, make it work.
Well, that's actually Tim's phrase, but I did Suede's gonna rock it, and I spoke in third person the whole time. So
I know. Can we talk about the third person?
Sure,
because
we certainly can.
I'm getting my master's right now in mental health counseling. And sometimes that's a sign of a mental disorder, but for you, this was a very smart business move.
Well, for me, it was branding. You
Right.
know, we all watch TV for a reason. We want to be entertained. And are you more entertained by someone who's a little bit wackadoodle, or are you more entertained by someone who sits there, I'm really stressed about sewing, I must finish this garment? So you choose. So
Right.
I tried to be entertaining. I knew that with reality shows, we look for certain types, the crier, the screamer, the backstabber, you know, the flaming queen. I knew none of those was really who I wanted to be. You know me personally as well, and you know I'm a little bit off center, so.
Well, I wouldn't say even off center. I think that anyone who is a creative type, who really thinks outside the box in fashion, I wish I had an eye and a passion for fashion, because
Ooh,
it's really...
Say that all again.
Oh, okay. But it's really about seeing things that other people can't see, and envisioning fabrics and patterns and creating something from scratch. So you have to think outside the box. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's creative genius. That's what makes you so good.
Right. I mean, everybody who's on that show has to be super talented to do the things we do. I mean, like, who makes a dress out of car parts? I don't know many people who do. Or go to the grocery store and go shopping and think, what am I going to make for Diana tonight? And you come home and it's a dress, not dinner. So,
Could you make me a dress out of my favorite cereals with a fruit roll-up as like the gel that
I'm
holds
sure
it
I
together?
probably could.
I'm a big fan of Captain Crunch.
I'm sure, yeah.
Think about it, digest
Now,
it,
do you
produce.
like the crunch berries, or do they have to be plucked out?
Oh, no.
We could do a really cool pattern with the crunch berries. And maybe some great accessories.
I'm in love with you.
And then I want you to sprawl that on this couch.
We'll do an impromptu photo shoot of me in my cereal dress with Suede Creation. Well, what's your background? I mean, where did you go to school, and how did you even get into Project Runway?
I have a pretty diverse background. As a kid, I went to Amish school, which a lot of people don't know. I wanted to be an actor, and Mom and Dad said, yeah, guess what? At age 17, you're not moving to New York City. So I had to think, okay, what is it that I want to do? And I knew I wanted to do something creative, but what that was, I wasn't sure. I thought about music theater, not so much, wasn't the right fit. I thought fashion design, let's try it out. No jazz hands. Let's try it out. It ended up being a great fit for my dramatic flair and also for my creative outlet. I really excelled in all my classes, moved to New York City, interned with Jeffrey Bean, which was an amazing experience. Not a nice guy though, rest his soul.
That's going in the tell-all book, isn't it?
It quite possibly may.
Why was he just very
It was, I guess, shortly
challenging?
after he had broken up with his lover, and he was just not in a good space, I guess. I never got to know him, but I had no name. I was Hey You. As everybody else was, unless you were Grace Mirabella or one of those people who came in. So that really was where I started my fashion career, was with Jeffrey Bean, and then I just worked my way through. I launched FUBU Ladies, Jordache Vintage, Polo Jeans Company, and that really took me into the denim side of the fashion industry. So I was dressing the masses. I really got as far as I could go, and I couldn't really go anywhere else unless I got backing, and it's very hard to get backing in the fashion industry unless you're an established name.
Are they like angel investors kind of thing?
I mean, you can try that, but if you don't have a name in the industry, which I was a behind-the-scenes designer, it's very hard to even get a meeting, let alone an investor. So, believe it or not, I was at my house upstate, and I had a dream that Tim Gunn came to me and said, you have to audition for Runway.
Oh, really?
I really did. It was not my first time auditioning. This was now my third time. The first time, I tried to be what I thought they would want me to be, so I chopped off all my hair, I dyed it brown, I wore a suit, and I was really, and you know me,
that is not Suede.
And so when I went to the interview, Tim was like, we really like you, but we're not sure what to do with you, so I didn't get moved forward. The second time I went on the very last day of the entire casting, and I didn't see anybody because apparently they'd already cast it. Well, then I went for the third time, and they always say third time's the charm. And I got moved through.
And were you just you?
I was me, but I decided to use my nickname from college, which is Suede. And I changed it on my application at the very last minute. And when I did my audition tape, I spoke in third person twice. And when I got flown out to LA for the audition process with the network execs and producers, the guy who brought us in the room was like, "Oh my God, it's Suede! Is Suede here to rock it?" And instantly I just went into that character, and it actually helped me get through it. I mean, you know, being in the public eye can be tough, and people can be tough on us.
Yes.
So be nice to Diana. So it kind of helped me separate who I am personally versus who I am on TV. And,
Right.
That was, I mean, kind of the short story as to how I got into fashion and how Runway came into my life. And it really opened a lot of doors for me, so I'm blessed that way. I have a lot of licensing deals that I'm considering. I signed a major licensing deal at the end of last year, and I'm excited to be dressing you for the first time tomorrow.
I am so thrilled to be, I'm honored actually. I got to go to, can we give the name of the place?
Sure.
To Simplicity.
Yes.
And it's funny because I told my mom about this, who's actually here with us in studio, but refuses to be on camera because I'm not her daughter, apparently. She's, you know, she doesn't want to be associated. Guilt by association. She's laughing. But she was saying that she went to FIT, and Simplicity was one of the pattern designers that she used to make her clothes. So it's definitely a small world. Everything's kind of connected. So I went, and I got to try on your sample dresses, and I'm going with this dress or outfit I never thought in a million years
I didn't either. I was shocked.
I would ever wear, and it's this awesome retro vintage jumpsuit. It's navy and white, and I'm just hoping.
Charlie's Angels, ready? So you got to look for our red carpet shots.
No, I'm really excited to be your date tomorrow, and I think it's going to be really.
I'm excited to have you.
Really fun.
You know, Brian Kent's Say It.
Superstar.
It's his new video, and so we're going to support him, and I get to dress Diana, and I'm thrilled and honored to be dressing such a fabulous fashion icon.
Oh yeah, I'm such an icon.
Look at her.
I want to ask, what do you think of the dress she's wearing now? Because she's getting a lot of compliments.
I love it. It's the first thing I said
room.
to her when I stepped out of this amazing heat outside. I came in from the sauna, and I was like, "You look sultry," and I think I said that to start the program.
Yeah.
She looks awesome, and I love the prints. The prints
Thank
is
you.
amazing balls.
Well, this is funny because my mom did help me when I went to the store and picked it out, and I'll give a shout out. It's from a boutique in New Jersey called Mandy's. It's a chain.
Mandy
and
to the rescue.
Mandy is always to the rescue, and hopefully they'll start.
I
getting
love Mandy's.
But right now, I know you have some projects that we really can't talk about.
Yeah.
But you have something really cool coming out with a how can we say this? A sexy brand.
A sexy brand? Which is the sexy brand that I'm doing? Oh, yeah. I do. It's a t-shirt. It's a benefit. It's really exciting. It's a benefit, and it's for Designers Against AIDS. It's going to be a t-shirt, and the t-shirt's going to be available worldwide. All proceeds are going to be going to this benefit charity. So I'm really excited. I can hardly wait to tell you about that. I actually had a meeting last night about another deal that could be really exciting. I'm in talks on 2 literary projects right now.
That's awesome.
You know, it's like I said, I really owe a lot to Runway for opening these doors for me, because I mean, we wouldn't have met without that.
No.
You know? So it's opened a lot of doors, brought a lot of great people into my life, and you know, I'm blessed for that, and I'm blessed to have you in my life, Miss Sultry.
Oh. Now leave because we're having a moment. No, I'm just kidding. You can go to suedesays.com and you can find out everything going on in Suede's world, find out his Twitter handle, Facebook, and kind of keep up with the crazy life, the hectic, chaotic life of Suede. For people out there that want to be in fashion, that want to be a designer, I went to New School University. All my roommates were at Parsons. And it was when they were filming Project Runway. And everybody wanted to be a designer, except it's such a pie-in-the-sky dream.
Right.
How does one prepare for that kind of life?
You know, I think having the fundamentals is really important. You got to have building blocks. So knowing how to sew, while designers typically don't sew. I mean, Marc Jacobs isn't sitting there sewing all of his work.
Right.
But
maybe at first he was, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, Sewing is not one of my favorite things to do, and I've been an import designer for my entire career.
Which is what exactly?
It basically means everything is done overseas, so we can hit a price point. I would love to be able to produce domestically. Unfortunately, because of minimum wage and unions and things like that, it's very difficult to produce a t-shirt that's $20 domestically, but overseas you can do it much easier, and there's profit margins for everybody.
Right.
So as an import designer, you conceptually come up with the design, you create the fit and everything, it goes overseas, the sample's made, it comes back to you, you fit it, but you don't actually sew it, you don't actually make the pattern. So getting on Runway was a big challenge for me because I hadn't sewn in 15 years.
No, that seems scary to me because when I watch this show,
for me.
I'm like, how do you, I mean, to take something that's just a picture and then to make a pattern and then to have it made into fabric.
To make a pattern.
How do you come up with that?
Literally, I honestly thought getting on the show, I thought, okay, they are going to have somebody here sewing for us.
Yeah.
There's no way these kids can do what they do in the amount of time we have. But no, you know, the first challenge started and I'm looking, so where are all these sewers? And yeah, no, it's really where the phrase make it work comes into play. You get whatever fabrics you get in the 30 minutes you haven't moved, and you've got to make it work with what you have. And you have to cut right into that fabric and you can't be scared. If you make a mistake, you've got to figure out how you change it and make it look like it's part of the design.
Jim from Michigan.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Well, hi. Nice to be here. I have a question about designing,
Sure.
whether it's men's clothes or ladies' clothes. You'll see something to choose by prominent people that are well off and wealthy, and the outfit might, well, let's say the garment will sell for $2,000 or whatever. You wait a couple of months, and it can be $200 or less. Does that hurt the designer and their profits? Is what I'd like to know. And what are your feelings on that?
No, you know what? I've always worked in the mass industry, which is it's based on something called the trickle-down theory. So what we always look at is at the higher end, people are, you know, you have these couture designers, Alexander McQueen, Christian Lacroix, you know, Karl Lagerfeld, who are basically creating the trends, and they trickle down to the masses over time. With the internet, with shows like this, with being able to see everything instantly, it's really made fashion almost accessible immediately. So, you know, Diana's able to pick up this dress for a great price, but you may be able to walk into a boutique somewhere down in South Beach and see something very similar that's going to be $2,000. You know, I am of the mindset that let's save money. I have people coming to me all the time saying, will you do custom work for me? It doesn't pay for you to have a custom created garment. Why spend $5,000, $10,000 when you can buy it at retail for $200? That's my mindset. You know,
I agree.
Of course, there's a million different mindsets, and I suppose if you have the money to burn, you know, go ahead and do it.
But really, who does?
Well, I mean, there are those people. For me, I think that it makes more sense for you to save money, and I mean, listen, you may see me walking around with what might look to be a Prada bag. Probably is from Canal Street, and it's probably not real, you know? I mean, I will splurge on certain things. If there's something I really, really love, I'll spend the money for it. But for me, I'm all about making my fashions accessible to the world. That's why I started off with Simplicity, because what they do is they give you the tools to make fashion for yourself. I'll give you guys a sneak preview. This is very confidential. I'm going to be coming out with some men's product at the end of this year. So definitely keep your eye on my website, suedesays.com. But I think the men's market specifically is very underrated, and we don't give the men enough product out there, because you go into the store and like I want to just fall asleep, you know.
It's very boring to shop for a guy.
Yeah, it's tough. So I say go and save the money. That's my advice to you, and I don't think it hurts the designer at all, because the person who's spending $2,000 isn't the person who's spending $29.99. What do you think?
I would agree with that. I think that so many times if you have a fabulous dress, you can work that into your, your part of your clothing wardrobe and wear it on occasion. But you don't want to spend a lot of money, because really, if something really stands out, then everyone's going to recognize the dress over and over and over again, whether you're a public figure or you're a public figure in your own community.
Right.
So it's better to have, I think, stretch the dollar, have more clothes.
Especially now.
Something really expensive. But I'm interested that you said you would buy a fake bag, considering that. See, that's very honest of you, because I think a lot of people are very like, oh, if you wear a fake bag, you are hurting the fashion industry.
I don't understand why you would pay that kind of money.
For
like
a bag.
I have people who are like, oh, I just bought my, $2,500 bag, and I'm like,
They're like, that's rent.
Okay.
I agree. At one point I said, oh, I saved up all this money. I'm going to get myself a Louis Vuitton bag. Did I do it? No, because I'm like, I could go.
You saw the price.
I know, I knew the price, but I was like, do I really need this bag? I'm like, I ruined my bags.
I do too.
So why? I'm not going to respect this.
I like my wallet sitting over there.
Yeah.
I don't buy expensive wallets because I poke holes in them and I stick my chain through
That's
it.
the same
and
thing
it's
with
like
sunglasses.
I lose my
$10
sunglasses all the
glasses.
time. So I don't. I don't shop for brands really. I shop for things that speak to me.
Yeah.
And that's how I advise people. Look for things that really speak to you and things that make sense for you.
And then they become more unique, because I know every single woman has a blue and beige Louis Vuitton bag. It's nothing unique. It's nothing special. You can get a $30 bag that no one else has, that I bought from a train station, and I literally have gotten so many compliments.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, I got it at a Union Station in DC because my bag literally broke. The strap broke, so I bought this random bag, and people in LA, people in New York are like, who makes that bag? Thinking I'm going to say like, oh, it's Givenchy or,
like your
Prada.
dress just now,
Yeah, no, it's
It was
cheap.
a great buy.
It was a $30
You can find great
purse.
fashion for great buys, and I say explore it and go for it.
And I learned that from my mama.
Thanks, Mom.
Suede, thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
for
us
having
today.
me.
You are fabulous, and tomorrow I will be rocking
Love it.
your fashions. So excited to be your escort. I guess you're my escort. But regardless, I'm very excited
We'll be
about
on the red carpet rocking
Yes,
it.
yes.
Ready to do our pose again?
Yes. And we will see you tomorrow with Frank Seppi at 11 a.m. He is the editor-in-chief of Metrics Magazine, so get your fitness questions ready for him. And I will be sending you guys pictures as well once we get them from the red carpet tomorrow night. So we will see you soon, guys. Have a great day. Thank you, Suede, SuedeSays.com.
Rock on.
Rock on.